Oh, right then. Hello, everybody. So you all recall last week you set up 4 bottles that look kind of like this now, I hope. We did a scarlet by scarlet cross, and we also set up a brown by brown cross, and I did 2 copies of those, so you got 4 bottles total. And they've been sitting there in the incubator for a while, and our happy little flies have been busy mating and laying eggs. This is a good thing. So flies carry out fairly elaborate courtship rituals. They actually do a little dance. They stick out a wing and waggle it and make a little song with it. And then they face each other and they dance around each other. Here's a video so you can see what it looks like from the fly's perspective. Okay, so yeah, they're doing all this fancy stuff. Among the things they're doing is the dance. The males and females have to agree to mate, so they're going to have it's a good thing. They got some consent going here. In addition, they do this tapping. They tap each other. And then another important factor is licking. They will lick each other's abdomens because these flies secrete species-specific oils and waxes. So flies of the same species have a different flavor to the fly. Okay, so there's this whole elaborate ritual. It's because there are so many different species of Drosophila out there, and the last thing you want to do is make an unproductive mating with a partner who is of a different species. So they do a lot of careful vetting of their potential mates. Okay, I can see some flies are doing a little dance in there right now. Anyway, they do all this to prevent non-specific matings with other species. However, they're kind of promiscuous in another sense, in that they will freely mate with their own children, and brothers and sisters will mate together. So this is a problem for us. We've got to prevent that. Because these are all, for instance, this is all scarlet flies. We don't want scarlet by scarlet. In our next cross, we're going to do scarlet by brown. So we got to collect virgins. Okay, how do we do that? How do you recognize a virgin fly? Well, it's tricky. There's ways. Yeah, we can look at the genitals and we can figure this out for the females. But we're going to do a different way of doing this, which is just basically we will make sure that the females have no opportunity to mate until we control who their mates are. All right, so what you should do today is get your bottles and take a look at them. This bottle looks pretty good. Okay, here we go, a close-up of the medium. And look, you should be able to see a couple of things here, if I get it in focus. There's our adorable baby flies, the little maggots crawling through the medium. You can see all these tunnels and spaces in there. There's lots of larvae here. Oh, look at all of them. So they're all busy burrowing through here, consuming the medium as they go. You can also see we have a few adults dancing around on the surface. Let's see, oh, where'd he go? There's some. So we got our adults. Let's see if I can find some of it. Yeah. So there's a early pupa right there. And let's see if we can find a wandering larva. Yes, that is a technical term. It's the wandering stage. There's another pupa. I swear I saw a bunch of them just crawling around. I guess they pupated in this short period of time when I was bringing them to my microscope. Anyway, this is a healthy, active jar. We've got a few. Oh, there's one. Let's see if I can. Nope, that one's pupated too. Yes, so they're starting to emerge and pupate. And in a few days, I expect that pupa will hatch out and produce an adult. So that's what we're looking for. Okay, great. So we're going to get adults soon. This is a week-old bottle. Your bottles will be about a week old. You won't have any new adults yet. What's in there right now are the parents, the old adults. And we can't let them mate with their offspring. And the way we're going to take care of this is, first of all, a really crude and simple way. We are going to kill them all. The euphemism is clearing. We're going to clear this bottle. We're going to get rid of all those happy, unsuspecting adults. So what you're going to do is you're just going to get a fly nap bottle, knock them into the fly nap, and then after you've knocked them out, at each bench we have these things. This is a morgue bottle. It's full of alcohol, just straight alcohol. So to get rid of your adults, you'll just dump them in here. It's apparently relatively quick and relatively painless. They don't even know what's going on. They're unconscious, remember. So it's a fairly humane way to get rid of them. So that's what you're going to do in lab this week. Take this beautiful bottle with all these flies in it and all the adults. Remember, you put 3 males and 3 females in there, so you've got 6 flies in each bottle to clear, and you're going to get rid of them. And then you're going to take this bottle and put it back in the incubator. That's all. Yeah, our first lab this week is going to take maybe 10 minutes. It's going to be pretty trivial, and then you get to go home. I know some of you commute, and in that case, it's fine if you just send in one group representative to take care of this really trivial sort of thing. Yeah, but that's all you're going to do. Take 10 minutes and do that. And you're thinking, oh, that's getting off easy. I don't have much work to do. Well, that's the easy part. Then we got the harder part. which unfortunately you're going to have to do on fly time. So later this week, you're going to have to come in and carry out a little chore that's going to eat up a few minutes every few hours of your day. Sorry, it's the only way to do it. Okay, so let's look ahead. So we're going to set up a couple of bottles. All right, here's your mission. You are going to get 2 more clean bottles, and I want you to label these. So one, we're going to have female scarlets, and we're going to cross that to male brown flies. And do the usual thing, you know, you got to put your name and the date up here. So there's my initials. This is the 29th when I'm doing this, so I'll put that on there. Okay. You're also going to have a second bottle, and this one, we are going to do what is called a reciprocal cross. We're going to swap the sexes around. So we're going to take a female brown, and we're going to cross that to male scarlet. Okay, once again, put the usual stuff on your bottle so that you can find it again later. And then you could set these up with medium and yeast, put a foam plug on them, but you're not going to put flies in them right away. You're just going to set them aside. So these you can put in the incubator and keep until you are ready for them. All right. So that's one other thing you could do in lab today is get these set up, or you could just wait a few days until you need them, and then set them up. Okay, so that's our cross. We're going to do a hybrid cross of brown by scarlet, and one is going to be female scarlet by male brown, and the other is going to be female brown by male scarlet. Okay, that's called a reciprocal cross. These females all have to be virgins, because otherwise they might be carrying sperm from their brothers, and that messes up your experiment. Okay, so you're going to take this bottle, these 4 bottles that you've got, and after you've cleared the adults, later this week, you're going to need to come in and check on them. So like this, you know, this bottle, I say, we got a couple of pupae. I would say that in maybe 2 days, we're going to start getting some adults, which is about right. So you're going to take these bottles with the adults gone and set them in the incubator, and then you're going to come back in a couple days. And what you're going to be looking for is newly eclosed flies. Okay, if they've just hatched out, and you got a single female in there and there's no males, you can just use it. You know she's going to be a virginal female, right? So that's not a problem. If you come in, though, and there's a bunch of flies buzzing around in here, you won't know who has courted who. So what you'll want to do is, again, clear the bottle. So we're going to clear this beautiful bottle and get rid of all the adults, even though they're the children we want. And then we're going to set it aside and come back within the next 4 hours. Okay, 4 hours is kind of arbitrary, but it's to say that any females that hatch out in the next 4 hours are not going to have an opportunity to do all the courtship. Also, when they first emerge, their cuticle is really soft, and they're not ready for this kind of thing. They're not going to be willing to engage in mating. So you got about 4 hours. Any flies that hatch out, then, yeah, you can use them. So what you'll need to do is come in. You know, I recommend coming in as early in the morning as you can. Clear the bottle. Get rid of all the flies in there. Put a little label on there that says, for instance, 9 a.m. That's when it was cleared. And then put it back. And then you or some other member of your group can come in a few hours later, and any flies that you find in there up to about 4 hours after the time on the label is presumably virgin. So you'll do the usual thing, anesthetize them, take a look at them, score them, look for females. You'll want to put 3 females in this bottle, 3 virginal females, and then you'll also want to add males from your brown bottle. We don't care about the virginal status of the males, okay? Any old male will do. So the tricky part is getting those 3 virginal females, and you got to do that for both of these bottles. Okay, so you've come in, you've collected your flies. You come in 4 hours later and you collect your flies. What you can then do is just update the label. You came in at 1 o'clock, for instance. Just change the label there. That means you're good for another 4 hours. So you could come in until, anytime before 5 and do this. If you come in at 5 and check for flies, you can then change the label and say 5 p.m. And then if you're crazy, you can come in and, up till 9 o'clock to do this. I'm not going to make you do that. Yeah, there's limits to how much I can demand from you. So what will actually realistically happening is most of the time it will, unless you have a really productive bottle, it will take a couple of days to get your 3 females, your 3 virginal females. You might get it the first day, you might get it the second day. It's all good. Okay, once that is done, you've got your 6 flies in each bottle all set up, then you're basically done with this part of the cross. And you can just set these aside and we'll talk about what we're going to do with them next week. We're going to get hybrid babies out of this is the whole idea. And you can take this bottle that you have cleared and that you're all done with, and here in the back of the room, I have this big sheet of mite-free shelf paper. Just put it here. It says done. This is where all the done bottles go. And so you just put it here, and we will wash them out the next week. The important thing about this is that I know from past experience that some of you, your bottles will be a bust. You just won't get very many flies out of them. You'll struggle. You may get overwhelmed with mold, and it just isn't going to grow. And that's okay, because what you can then do is if there is a bottle back here on this done paper, it is fair game. Presumably it is a good, successful bottle that is producing lots of flies. Just come back here and snatch it up and take it back to your bench and relabel it. Put your name on it and then put it in the incubator and then just start from this one. That's the easy way to recover from this. I want everybody in every group should have those 2 bottles by the end of next week. And we'll be ready to move on with a cross. All right. Is there anything else I need to tell you? No, it's going to be that simple. It's going to be an easy week, I think. Except for that business of, you're going to have to schedule things to come in on a routine later in the week when your flies start to eclose. Okay. Have fun with it. I will be around, so you know my phone number. I wrote it down for you guys. You can call me if you need any help at any time during the week, and I'll run over and help you out. If the lab gets locked up by campus security and you desperately want to get in, just, again, give me a call. I'll run over and unlock the door so you can get this project going. Okay, end result is the end of this week. We will be preparing to get hybrids of brown-eyed by scarlet-eyed flies. What do you think the result will be? We'll talk about that next week. Okay. See you in lab.